Good morning, everyone. This is Professor James Koshar, your Management 368 Business Ethics Instructor with Columbia College, Columbia, Missouri Online Studies, coming to you on this Sunday, the 15th of January. I've got 11:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from Berryville, Virginia. Want to check in with you, do my most to check in with you, turn my iPhone off. Check in with you weekly. That's my endeavor, just to have more of a connection with everyone. Just a few things going on. You want to give you some feedback. You want to remember to, when you do your discussion postings, you have your initial post, and then you respond to two other classmates, okay? You want to do that. And also, good job on the case studies, on the Harvard hacking case. Just some pointers there. Even though we're living in the electronic age, you're not mailing or handing me something, you still want to put your name, okay, and the course name, perhaps my name, and the date on your work, okay, when you submit it for that artifact. It identifies your work, the artifact in the school system, so please do that. Additionally, I didn't see this too much. But when you write, you don't write in the first person. What does that mean, Professor Koshar? You don't want to use words like I, or I think, or I believe, or it's my thought that. You're writing scholarly work, okay? What your voice is, if you will, is your research, okay? And you should not write in the first person unless your instructor gives you permission to do so, okay? As an example, for my doctoral studies, we had a paper to submit, and our professor stated it's okay for you. He wanted our opinion, okay, but he specifically stated that, hence we were permitted to write in the first person. Overall, and even individually, all the cases that have been submitted were pretty outstanding. And more importantly, your own work, okay? Your own, from you reading the article, conceptualizing, right? Internalizing what you read, and then pushing it out in your own words, representing your own thought process. Superior job by everyone. If you're listening to this YouTube video and you haven't submitted your work, please submit your work. Also, I'm and great job on the discussions. I say this every class. I say this is the best class I've ever had. You guys, the best class I've had with discussions. Talking about inequality of income versus it's greater in the United States than other capitalistic countries. Well, we got the most money, folks. We got the most billionaires. We have the most millionaires. In fact, I was reading a definition about being uber rich. You're not really really rich until you've got at least $100 million. Can you believe that? That's how people view other people. That you're not really rich unless you have $100 million or more. I could go for 1/100th of that, right? But we basically, 1% of the population in the United States controls 99% of the wealth. It's that way worldwide. 1% of the wealthiest people control 99% of the world's wealth. I guess part of this explanation as to why it's like that in the United States, many of you pointed out, it could be too, it's certainly disparity, right, in salaries in the same profession, right? You've got a CEO earning $30 million a year for a company that he or she runs, and the lowest level people might make minimum wage, okay, things like that. Or even the middle range people might not even be at $50,000. Which is roughly the the average salary of workers in the United States. The numbers keep moving. It's between $50,000 to $55,000 a year. I don't know about where you're living at, but here in Northern Virginia, certainly we live in Clark County, but Loudoun County, which is right next door, the richest county in the United States, you need at least $100,000 just to get by, just to get by. I mean, housing prices. People have to spend so much money on housing, and I don't know how. Thank goodness I have a job. I don't know how people go to the grocery store anymore. It's just unbelievable how expensive it is. But great participation in the discussion areas. And I had a question that I did research, and I noticed on the quiz, the quizzes are only 30 minutes in length, okay? For next week, discussion 3, what do you see as the major economic challenges facing our society today, in particular your generation? Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so the generation you are in, right? There are certainly baby boomers in this class, but we have millennials and Generation X, etc. And week 3 again starts tomorrow on Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King's observance tomorrow, the holiday. Is week 3 already. And then you have case study 2 next week. After reading case 4.4 on page 181 of your text, answer the following question. How typical are the attitudes that the author reports? Does this description of a new work ethics tally with your own experiences, match with your own experiences? I'm looking forward to reading case study 2. I'm sure all of you are going to have interesting perspectives and viewpoints. I want to let you go now. It's a pretty nice day here in Berryville. I've got my Harley Davidson t-shirt on from Cycle City, and but not taking the motorcycle out today, that's for sure. Many of you have reached out, had questions for me, and I'm responding to those, of course. Please do so. If you have a question with me, contact me, or any of your other instructors, please do so. I'll let you go on this Sunday, almost going on noon, and wish you a good and safe week coming up. This is Professor James Koshar of your Management 368 Business Ethics course of Columbia College, Columbia, Missouri Online Studies. You have a good one. Bye-bye now.